Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 11-month developer message here for the game Let's Live. My name is Alex, or Seizuring Cow, and before I start anything off, I just want to say I hope you all are being safe out there. Currently, with the situation at hand, this developer message is kind of going to talk a lot about that and how that's going to relate to the game Let's Live. Obviously, you're all aware of the pandemic at hand with the coronavirus, and I'm just going to be talking a little bit about how I'm studying what's going on throughout the world and how that's going to be incorporated into the game, partially through storytelling and through rare items slash quests, along with also just kind of talking about how this situation at hand is affecting the development of the game. I just want to say right off the bat, there's no need to worry. There is still development going on. I'm still in the process of coding and learning coding, but obviously I am not impervious to the financial issues that are happening along with a lot of other people in terms of, losing their job or getting cut back in hours. So those are all things that are going to be talked about. With that being said, I just want to thank you all for your support. You guys are all very, very great. I know that this is a tedious process. A lot of you have come into this game's development on the ground level, like right at the very beginning of its development. And, I've been trying my best to work very, very hard and keep pushing and getting the development going for you guys. And we're coming up to our 1 year mark with the development of Let's Live. And from the goals that I set for myself and the game at the beginning of all of this, I'm very surprised to this day where the game is at right now. And I'm very excited and very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm like full of anticipation for exactly what's going to happen in the next upcoming months, and just to see how fast I can kind of get all of this put together in a working, coherent game so that it can be released for you guys. Unfortunately, it's just not something that I think would get released during this pandemic, because I'm hoping that this isn't something that is a prolonged situation, but it's hopefully something that I can learn from and make this game even more fun. So getting that out of the way, pretty much what's happened with the game so far is I've been doing a lot more learning of coding and implementing actual C++ coding to get certain things that I just was having a difficult time with blueprints in working. So I've been doing a lot of C++ coding, which is very, very, in my mind, tedious and boring for somebody to watch, in terms of what you can actually do in Unreal. So I've been doing a lot of that on the side, and the big thing that I've been really focusing on is, like I said, the situation at hand, which is the coronavirus pandemic. This is the first situation of its kind, at least in my lifetime, and I think for a lot of other people as well. So this is something that is really kind of, a great learning situation for me making this game. There's been so many games that have been based around pandemics and based around certain things happening in terms of an illness, creating this outbreak or an illness and creating the world apocalypse or the ending of the world pretty much. And a lot of that has been run off of kind of like a general consensus of what everybody think would happen and some scientific knowledge and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But what's really, really great for me in terms of learning about this virus and learning it in its actual active state is kind of seeing what's going to happen with it. Now I can actually make a story and a backline for this game that is far more in depth than anything I could have actually tried to do on my own in terms of factual evidence and factual backgrounds. I would love to sit there and read books and books and books on viruses and bacteria to get like all of the background information accurate. But I know myself, it would just take way too long, and it would not be worth the time for that. But with this happening and with it being literally flooded through every single news source, it's impossible for me to not see it. So it's almost like I'm being passively fed all of this awesome information for the story of this game, which then leads into talking about the fact that this game is going to have in-game objects that you can find throughout the open world, and you're going to also be able to have what I'm calling a passive storyline. And what that pretty much means is you have the choice to choose and go through the storyline if you so please, based off of the hints and clues that you would receive by going through it. If you choose not to do it, there's nothing wrong with that, and you're not going to receive any type of in-game penalty, or like you're not going to be really losing out on anything. This is more for the people that also enjoy the idea of questing and the idea of having a background lore as well. And I just want to have that implemented for like the PvE-ish style players. So mainly this month has been me studying the actual pandemic at hand, understanding exactly what's been happening on a global scale, and watching how different governments are handling things, and watching how government organizations are responding both on like a state, a country, and on a global basis. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of caught my intrigue a little bit more than I expected it to, because mainly I think it's just been jammed in my face. But not getting too much offhand, like I said, the majority of this month's development has been working on the background lore, the PvE style, like questing and in-game items that you can go and look for if you so choose to while you play the game, and also working on doing some C++ coding and doing other things of that nature. The only other thing that I'd like to talk about in this 11-month message, because I just don't want to make it too long, is I want to recap the live stream from last month. So for a lot of you guys, you might not have made it and maybe were able to watch it later. I do apologize. Apparently, by the time I had decided to do this stream from the last time I had streamed on this YouTube channel, YouTube had updated its settings in terms of exactly when you go live. So I was unaware of, for like the first 15-ish minutes of the countdown, that I actually was not live. So I actually started the stream at probably closer to like 1:15 Eastern time and went till like 2:15. So anyways, pretty much what that stream was me showing you guys that I had spent that whole month moving the Let's Live game from Unreal Engine 4.20 to their newest version at the time, which is 4.24, which has allowed me to implement brand new vehicles that I am now in the process of coding, along with showcasing some of the guns, how much there's a vertical upward incline and recoil, along with a horizontal recoil left and right. Just kind of giving a little bit of a showcase of the main core things, along with showing some base building things that were going to be implemented later on. So those are really the core things. I do apologize again for that hiccup in that. I now know what I need to do if I do a live Q&A in the future. But so that is pretty much what has happened between last month and this month. Just to recap, last month I spent the time updating the game from 4.20 Unreal Engine to 4.24. So now there's a lot more assets and a lot more coding and a lot more capabilities and availabilities for the game, including, like I was talking about, some brand new cars. And if you guys haven't seen, I really suggest you go to the last video from last month and check it out, because there's like 5 new vehicles that I have to code and put in. So those are all really cool things. And then this month has really been C++ coding, while also learning about the pandemic in real time, in real life, getting some, I guess, what you would call real life experience, and implementing that into the core lore and storytelling. So with that being said, that's pretty much it for this month. I really do appreciate all of the support that you guys are continuing to give. Hopefully this kind of subsides and we can all go back to doing our standard stuff in terms of working on this game, hopefully getting some multiplayer stuff started sooner than later, and then hopefully, you know, by the middle of the second year we can get beta testing and stuff figured out. So thanks again, everybody. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're excited for what I'll have for the 1 year mark, and I hope you guys keep safe, keep living on, and I will see you guys in the next developer message.